28% for President Obama, 45% for Mitt Romney. A Quinnipiac poll earlier this month had President Obama leading Mitt Romney by 6 points, 50 to 44%. We'll get a better snapshot of where we are in Ohio tomorrow when we have two new polls. A Quinnipiac swing state poll comes out tomorrow, as well as the Ohio poll from the University of Cincinnati.
And Kay Henderson, in Iowa, what does it look like there?
It is a dead heat here as well. Things have not changed much since the beginning of the year. The Paul Ryan pick is sort of turning out, as you talk with Iowa Republicans, a do no harm pick. It really was not a game changer for Republican voters. It may have reassured some conservatives, but it certainly didn't change the dynamic of the race, in that you have Republicans who vociferously hope to vote Obama out of office, and you have Democrats who want to retain the White House for President Obama.
And Joan Ralston in Nevada, where President Obama was campaigning today, what does it look like where you are?
Well, the race is close, Judy. President Obama, when he was running for the presidency in 2008, won here by 12 points. I think he's still a slight favorite here, which is really astonishing when you think about it, because we have maybe the worst economy in the country, highest unemployment rate, foreclosure crisis so bad here. But the polls I trust show Obama slightly ahead of him.
And what about the reaction to the pick of Congressman Ryan?
That's been very interesting because, as you know, we have a very important U.S. Senate race here between Dean Heller and Shelley Berkley. And Shelley Berkley had been clouded by this ethics investigation. I think her campaign got reinvigorated by the choice of Paul Ryan trying to tie Dean Heller, who voted for the Ryan budget twice. He's the only one who did, is both a congressman and a senator, and another down-ticket race, a very important swing congressional district. So the bottom parts of the federal ticket on the Democratic side are actually excited about the Ryan pick.
Back to you, Adam Smith in Florida. You were starting to say that the choice of Congressman Ryan has complicated the story for Republicans in Florida. What did you mean by that?
Well, I mean, most people were thinking this was going to be an election on the economy, and we're still hurting here in Florida. And now it looks like Medicare entitlement reform is going to be a front burner issue. And then separately, the Hispanic vote here is absolutely critical. And there's very little that it looks like Paul Ryan's going to do to help Romney pick up more Hispanic votes.
And on Medicare, the Republicans have come back and with a frontal attack on the president. They try to turn that issue around. Is it too early to sense how that's playing out in Florida?
It used to be really, it was a third rail kind of issue. In the last Senate race, Marco Rubio was very upfront about suggesting there were going to need to be cuts to beneficiaries, and he obviously won. So it's not quite the dangerous issue that it once was, and right now it seems to be basically both sides throwing everything at each other, saying Obama's ready to send $100 billion from Medicare to pay for Obamacare, and the Democrats saying, the Romney-Ryan plan is going to gut Medicaid, and Medicare ended as we know it.
And in Ohio, Karen Kassler, whether it's Medicare or another issue, what are voters talking about? What are they bringing up right now when you talk to them and your colleagues?
Well, voters are still telling pollsters that the economy is their #1 issue. 48% were reporting that back in the Quinnipiac swing state poll back at the beginning of this month. We're hearing a lot about the economy, even though Ohio's unemployment rate is actually lower than the national average and continues to drop. It's still, though, foreclosures and that sort of thing are still a critical issue here. And with the Ryan pick, I think there were some people in Ohio who were a little disappointed in the Ryan pick because there was widespread speculation that Rob Portman, Ohio's junior senator, the U.S. senator from Cincinnati, was going to end up being the vice presidential choice. But certainly you hear a lot of people now saying that they're on board with Ryan. And Ryan does help Romney in some parts of the state. Romney almost lost. He barely won the March primary. And those voters that went for Rick Santorum in the rural and urban parts of Ohio, it's thought that maybe Ryan could help Romney with those voters.
Kay Henderson in Iowa, what about this Medicare question that we've been talking about? Iowa is a state that has seen its economy suffer.
The unemployment rate here has done a little uptick in the past month. In regards to the issue, the Romney campaign is running an ad which essentially accuses the president of being a thief. The Obama campaign has been running advertisements here trying to define Mitt Romney as some sort of robber baron who doesn't care about voters. So if you look at the campaign advertising and what the candidates have been talking about on the stump here in Iowa, it has appeared until today, this afternoon, that the candidates are trying to energize their base of voters because it appears that Iowa is among the purplest of states, perhaps still in this election cycle. But then this afternoon, Mitt Romney made a plea with his supporters to go out and essentially convert a 2008 Obama voter to vote for him. So that's the first time we've really heard Mitt Romney in a campaign appearance here in Iowa talk about trying to convert and bring in independent and even Democratic voters to the Romney campaign.
That's very interesting. John Ralston, what about in Nevada? Are you picking up anything like that on the Republican side?
Well, listen, I think that the issue here is the same as it is everywhere else. It's this mythical undecided voter, Judy. This is all about now the base election, and that's why I think Ryan had some impact here in a salutary way for the Republicans. He came here just a couple of days after he was picked, showing the importance of this state to that ticket, and he really energized the base. Similarly, President Obama, when he was in Las Vegas today, it was a pure partisan speech at a high school talking about how Mitt Romney wants to cut education and give tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires, about we need you to get out. It's about a base election now, Judy. That's really what's going on.
Well, let me just quickly go back around with all four of you and ask you about how the campaigns are organized in your state, and do you see that making a difference in such a close race? Adam Smith, starting with you in Florida.
Oh, they are both pretty well organized. Obama has by far the biggest campaign operation Florida's ever seen. I think there are about 50 offices now open in every corner of the state. And Romney, unlike McCain 4 years ago, really has a pretty solid grassroots operation. He's got dozens of campaign offices. He's investing in sort of the ground troops. And they seem to be getting a lot of people showing up for those phone banks and door knocks.
Karen Castle.
Well, it seems to be the same here in Ohio. In 2010, in the off-year election, the Republicans just dominated, and they've kept that organization. And last year in Ohio, the Democrats scored a big win with the repeal of a collective bargaining reform law. They're counting on that to help bring their voters out this fall.
And just a few words from you, Kay Henderson in Iowa, on organization.
In 2000, Al Gore won an organization. In 2000, Al Gore won Iowa by 4,000 votes. In 2004, George W. Bush won by 10,000 votes. This is an incredibly close election again in 2012, and both campaigns have ramped up accordingly.
And John Ralston, what about Nevada in terms of how well these campaigns are organized?
Well, certainly the Democrats have been much better organized here for quite some time, as you know, Judy. That's what saved Harry Reid in 2010. That's what could save Barack Obama here, despite the terrible economy. The Republican Party here is just a punchline. You have one part of the party suing another part of the party to kick them out of the party. So the Romney campaign and the RNC have erected a parallel organization. They have some good people on the ground, but the Democrats are much better organized here.
All right, thanks to all four of you in 4 battleground states. Online, you can use our Vote 2012 Map Center to see what happens if these battleground states flip from 2008. Also, Gwen and our politics editor, Christina Bellantoni, previewed the NewsHour